Hi, Annessa. How are you?
I'm good, Meredith. Thanks so much for having me on your blog today.
Sure. Welcome to the Take Charge of Your Own Health show. I'm really excited to talk to you today. You are a nutrition expert, and so that is something that I personally need help with. So I imagine that a lot of the viewers need help with some nutrition advice as well. So you are an ambassador for Safeway.
Yes, that's correct.
That's really cool. So it's also Albertsons. They're the national brand for both Albertsons grocery store and Safeway. So what is it that you do with them?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that. They've really given me a platform to speak to healthy eating and to getting back into the kitchen and loving simple ingredients. Especially as a parent, one of the best things we can do is nourish our children and teach them the story of their food. And so I get to create recipes for them and do cooking technique videos. And a lot of times my kids help me with developing those. They're definitely the taste testers of my recipes. So I know if that I've won them over, then it's a good recipe.
So that is super duper cool. I just recently came off of a 21-day fast of sorts where I was really just only eating fruits and vegetables and drinking water. I turned down my plate to caffeine and extra sugars and all those things. So it really challenged me to find better ways to prepare my food and really kind of change my palate. So I'm really excited to talk to you because I learned a lot about myself over that 21 days. But just going forward, I kind of want to keep the momentum going.
Yes.
But why is it so important to understand how to make healthy choices before going food shopping at the grocery store?
Yes, Meredith, I'm so glad that you shared that. It's almost more of a, when we're trying to travel the path to health, it's more of a journey within, and you learn so much about yourself when you're trying to make these good changes. And I love that, yeah, that is so cool. Good for you. Congratulations. That takes a lot of hard work. So I think it's great that people are embracing healthy eating. And I think for a lot of people, that starts in the grocery. And I kind of see opportunity all over the cart because what you put in that cart not only can determine your health, but then how you feel. It's always paired with a feeling. Food makes us, it either energizes us or it's going to bring us down. So it might determine how you feel for the weeks to come. And it sounds like in your case that it was an energizing experience, even though a challenging one. That's great.
Yeah, so what are your tips for making good choices at the grocery store?
Sure. Well, first, when it comes to organic and natural products, those are going to be a great source for healthy living. And your local Safeway has hundreds of organic or natural products to choose from. I think personally that it is too overwhelming to make a huge change. And if you do, usually it lasts a short amount of time. Like yours was limited to 21 days, and now you're trying to sustain. So when you start to walk toward the organic lifestyle, make one change at a time. Just take one product that you would have regularly purchased and switch it to the organic. And not only have you increased the health factor instantly, but then you've made a sustainable change. And the cool thing about habits, I think they're so simple. Sometimes we're tempted to discredit them, but that's where the real magic happens, is when you lay that foundation of habits. It makes things so much easier because then they're working for you and you don't have to put a lot of thought or energy into them.
Right. So you mentioned to start with one food and make the switch to organic, but I think a lot of people may still be a little bit unsure about the difference between regular produce versus organic, or even some of the other, items that are ready-made, like the processed foods like breads and such. So how can you tell if an item is healthy or if it just appears to be, by the namings and food labeling and things like that?
Yes, well, if it's organic, it's going to say so, which is great because it takes the guesswork out of it. And that is a trustworthy label. It's a regulated word. So that means it's free from lots of things that we probably shouldn't be eating. It's going to be free from pesticides, fertilizers, synthetic ingredients. Your body best recognizes those ingredients that are straight from the earth, not necessarily that are man-made. And then it's also going to be free from GMOs. And if it is a meat or poultry, eggs or dairy, it's going to be free from antibiotics and hormones. So those are all important reasons to choose organics. However, one of the best things you can do to tell the difference between a product that might not be so healthy, even though it appears to be, is to go straight to the ingredients list. So I like to refer to the ingredients list as my source of truth, because it's going to be the one surefire place that's going to tell you exactly what you're putting in your body. And that's the most important thing to know. So a lot of times you're going to want to look for a list that, first of all, has wholesome, simple ingredients. So naturally, they're going to be easy to pronounce. And a shorter list is typically going to be better than a mile-long one.
Right. Awesome. So with natural and organic foods, which ones, like say if you're just starting to make that transition, which ones can you get the most value or the most bang for your buck when you're just getting started?
Yeah, what I like to recommend people do is start in the produce section. So including in the grocery tips is start to look at the produce section as nature's pharmacy. That's really going to be the place where you're going to find the foods. I mean, you spent 21 days eating mostly these that are really going to help energize and give you great skin, help you even think clearer, and might even help prevent or treat disease. So I
love that. You said nature's pharmacy. I love that so much.
Yeah, I think part of eating healthy is like changing the way you think. And then it kind of, after you've done it for a while, you mentioned taste buds. I call it taste buds in training. You start to walk your way to healthy food, you're going to find a ton of flavor. And then if you go back and try junk food or other stuff, you're going to find that it just doesn't taste as good as it used to. So that's a beautiful change.
And it doesn't make you feel as well. And like one of the things that I noticed, it was probably like during the last week, I made some homemade hummus, and oh my goodness, it was amazing.
Oh, that's great. And it's fun to get excited.
That's going to be like a staple in my refrigerator from like going forward.
That's awesome. And when you pair it with a feeling, it's like you nailed the sticky note, on the board. You really are able to stick with it. Once you feel better, you're not going to go back. So when you asked about value, so when you're in the produce section and you're shopping for organic produce, always think in season. So when you're buying in season, those things are going to be the less expensive, but then they're also going to be at their peak nutritionally. And when they are, that means they're going to be the ripest. They're going to taste the best and have the best flavor. So nutrition and flavor should go together. It's kind of a myth that healthy foods don't taste good because they naturally should. They should taste the best.
That's really good to know. So do you have a favorite recipe that you would like to share with us today that can get people trying to eat healthier?
Yeah, I sure do. I have a breakfast recipe, and that is the most important meal of the day. We always hear that, and it's important to know.
It is. I agree.
It is good. I'm glad you have experience with that, because once you start it, you won't go back. But it takes some practice if you're not a breakfast person. But it pushes the metabolism start button. So if you skip breakfast, you're actually telling your body that you want it to run lower and slower, and none of us really want that. So make sure at least you get in something little for breakfast, but what you choose is important because choices perpetuate themselves. So what you choose for breakfast, you're gonna want something like that for lunch and for dinner. So this has been one of my favorites lately. My kids and I have been making this all the time. We make these weekly, and it's called apple oat waffles. I love it, Meredith, because it's just 5 ingredients. And when you're a mom of little ones, few ingredients is a good thing.
Yes.
It sure is. So this is based around whole oats. There's no other flour or grain other than the oats. I love that because they're really high in fiber and they're very nourishing. And then I sweetened this with an apple. So all you have to do is core the apple. You don't even peel it. There's lots of good, what's called insoluble fiber in that peel, and you want that. You need it. And then the only other thing in it is eggs, almond milk, and a pinch of cinnamon. So all of that gets put into a high-powered blender. That's how you make the batter. And then just put it in a waffle maker. And you've got these really hearty, they're delicious. So when I freeze them, I make them in batches and freeze them. And I cut them up, and my kids call them a waffle snack. And they ask for that all the time. So I can just go pull it from the freezer, let it thaw or toast it up. And then we do this with it. Check this out. You can spread it with organic almond butter or peanut butter. And then, you could set out a little waffle bar for your kids and let them top it with whatever they want. So that might be coconut. That's been one of my favorite things these days. Almonds, strawberries. Here I topped it with coconut whipped cream right out of a can. Just skim off the fatty part and whip it up with some pure maple syrup. It's fantastic.
That sounds yummy. I'm gonna have to try those apple oat waffles.
Yeah.
So this has been a wealth of information. You're awesome.
Oh, thank you. Likewise.
Thank you. Where can viewers go to get more information?
Sure. Next time they're shopping for organic or natural food, just head over to your local Safeway. And you know what? They've got really simple to spot signs. So you're going to know exactly where to go, which again is great for those of us that are parents. There's no guesswork involved.
Well, thank you so much, Annessa. It was a pleasure talking to you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Oh, thank you so much, Meredith. Best of luck on your continued health journey. I love your mission. Keep it up.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.